Alright boys, what's happening? Welcome back to another episode of the F1 2021 My Team series on the channel. Next up is Russia. If you have not seen the last episode, make sure you go and check that one out, boys. It's our first race in, well, the history of ever that I'm using a wheel and pedals and not a controller. Obviously, if you don't know, I've been using controller for my whole time playing this game and last year's game. Never tried racing on wheel and pedals before, never even tested it somewhere else, but I finally got my hands on a wheel and pedal setup from Fanatec. And as you can see on the screen now, it's ruined the last race, but go and watch it. We got pole position, we got fastest lap, and we won the race. Our first race on wheel and pedals, and it was a perfect hat-trick of results from that race there. As you can see in the top right, it says pole positions 1. Our first ever pole position last time I was in Monza. What a race it was as well. Michael Schumacher battling with Sergio Perez for pretty much the whole race, which secured us the win there. You know, I think Perez probably had the pace to try and catch us towards the end of that race then, if Michael wasn't so hard fighting him. So obviously next up we do have Russia, one of my favourite circuits to drive. But look at this, boys, we have regulation changes. I mentioned this in the last episode. We do have regulation changes coming up, and as you can see here, it says that we have 66 parts completed in the development tree, and I was like, that's a weird notification to get because I've not set anything to upgrade, you know. But you can see there is obviously regulation changes in the aero, chassis and durability part, and it's every single upgrade that we've done, boys. So that's 66 upgrades. Notification was the 66 parts that we need to change. As you can see on the durability section here, pretty much every single part that we have unlocked, apart from the ones obviously that we don't have unlocked yet, we need to adapt them for next season. The engine's fine, no changes to the engine, but the whole chassis and the whole aero package need to be adapted for next season. Otherwise we will lose these upgrades, lose these parts, and then that'll cost us next season. So we do luckily have nearly 30,000 resource points saved up, because we've had nothing to spend it on for so long, you know, because we have been maxed out all season pretty much. So I'm just going to fast forward the video now and speed through and just adapt all of these parts. But it's going to be interesting to see next season, boys, in season 4 of the My Team series. You know, I'm expecting the vehicle comparison chart to be a bit jumbled up. You know, I don't think every single team is going to be able to adapt every single part that needs adapting, because it's 3 you know, parts of the facility, 3 facilities that need adapting: durability, chassis and aero. As you can see, we just run out of resource points. Even though we have 30,000, we've run out and there's still more upgrades to go, so we'll have to do them over the next few weeks. But yeah, like I'm saying, I don't think all the teams will be able to adapt to this, the regulation changes. So next season should be crazy. We are just picking up a new internal combustion engine there, which is responsible for like the main power in the engine, and we are also going to pick up a new turbo or a new MGU-H as well. We're just picking up some new engine parts here with no penalty, obviously, because we have not gone to qualifying yet, just checking out the engine wear. So we're going to have a new turbo, new MGU-H and a new ICE. For this race in Russia, we should have an absolute rocket in the back of the car, providing we don't have engine failure and providing we don't DNF. But we've already had 2 back-to-back DNFs at the start of this season in China and in Imola, so hopefully we don't see any more in the rest of the season. Let's get into qualifying in Russia, see if this new engine is actually a rocket or not. We'll have to wait and find out as we start the lap here. This is going to be our first lap of Q1. Obviously we haven't set a banker lap yet. This is going to be the banker in Q1, on the soft tyres, of course. Don't know why you would go on any other tyres apart from soft in Q1. Breaking at the 100 metre board, trying to hit that apex nicely, riding the curb on the exit. We get a nice exit there. Now you can take a tight line through the sweeping left hander. Careful you don't lose the back end. Very easy for the back end to kick out. I felt it a few times, especially during the race. Sometimes the back end would just kick out there. We do exceed track limits, but you know what, we talk about track limits a lot on this series, and you'll see a lot more track limits later on in this episode, boys. Boys, if you are not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Yeah, we're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2022. I forgot to say Happy New Year, by the way. It's the new year now. Hopefully you all had a good time. Hopefully you all had a good Christmas. Hopefully you had a good holidays if you don't celebrate Christmas. But yeah, new year, trying to hit 1k subscribers. That was the goal for last year, but we didn't really hit it because I wasn't really uploading that much until the end of the season. I was going to say the end of the year, But yeah, man, hit subscribe. If you are not subscribed, hit like on the video as well. Numbers, someone was commenting the other day saying numbers don't really matter, and I agree. I enjoy making the videos regardless of the numbers, even if they get 1 view. But I still need the numbers to, you know, keep motivated and to make it worthwhile in the end. We're going to finish this lap here. Let's see what time we put in as we cross the line wide again. It's going to be a 128.7, fastest lap of the session so far. Obviously, we're probably one of the only people who've set a lap so far. Get a little bit of a slipstream from Nikita Mazepin there, but we are 1/10 down already, so I thought this could be a good lap as we had a little slipstream at the start from Mazepin, but we're 1/10 down heading into turn 2 as they call it, because apparently that little kink in the straight at the start is classed as a turn. But we are up in the delta, even if it's only by a tiny amount, and I think there is a ghost in my room because my vinyl player has just started spinning around for no reason. That is bizarre, but I'll have to sort that later. Anyway, you can see we go red in sector 1. We're down just slightly, ever so slightly in the delta. We are down. Probably didn't even need to go again. We were above Sergio Perez. You know, we'll have to wait and see the split time between us and Perez and Ricciardo, but it seems to be like a good lap so far. Heading down the back straight though. It's only a little bit of time, like I say, 1/10. We can make up 1/10 easily in sector 3 of this circuit here. Getting a bit of a slipstream, it looks like, from Carlos Sainz down the straight, and we go straight into the back of Carlos Sainz there. Carlos Sainz braking about 100 metres before the braking point for that corner. Must have been on his outlap, wanting to save his tyres, and we fly straight into the back of Carlos there. So lucky that we don't actually lose a wheel there and end our whole qualifying session. That could have been an absolute disaster. But Carlos, what are you doing to me, mate? Carlos Sainz next year, by the way, in real life, drivers champion, mark my words. Anyway, we get through in Q2, in P2, in Q1. That was a confusing sentence. 6/10 behind Michael Schumacher though. What a lap from Michael in Q1 there. And Max Verstappen almost does the exact same thing to us as Carlos Sainz did. Luckily, with Sainz, what Sainz did, I was expecting it this time from Max, but we almost fly into the back of Max Verstappen there. That's completely ruined our lap. You can see this is a push lap where the time is running 1:20 at the minute. Daniel Ricciardo, the man to beat, 1:29.6. We're on the medium tyres, of course, being Q2. Whatever tyres you set your fastest lap on in Q2, if you make it through to Q3, those are the tyres that you start the race on. So we're on the medium tyres, trying to start the race on the medium tyres. You've seen it a lot this season. That has been the strategy for pretty much every race so far this season, trying to start on the medium tyres, heading through lap 1, turn 1 now I should say, or turn 2. We're up in the delta. Obviously there's a lot of times we made on the back straight in that braking zone from where we had the little incident with Max Verstappen, so I'm not too concerned about this lap. I know there's definitely times we made up, but we're already up by 1.5 tenths. Purple in sector 1, which is what you love to see. Bit of understeer coming through there, but like I say, we know there's a lot of times to make up later on in this lap, and we're already up in the delta by 2 tenths, going purple through sector 1, which is obviously, I've just said, what you love to see. Even last season and the season before that, when we had a stinky car, I was very good around here setting purple sectors. I really like this Russian circuit. In real life, it's not the best, especially for a TV viewer, because it looks like a prison with all the barbed wire and fences around. But heading into that braking zone where we had the incident with Max Verstappen, you can see now the delta is up to 9 tenths. Now it's flying up even more, 1.2 seconds, 1.1 seconds. Purple in sector 2. Again, like I say, I love this circuit. It's just so flat, it's so easy to drive, and I just absolutely love it. And especially driving on wheel and pedals, it actually felt like I was in a little go-kart just flying around. But we're going to go ahead and cross the line now, 1.3 seconds up, and it's going to be the fastest lap of the session. Purple in sector 3 as well. What a lap that is. We go 1.3 seconds faster than Verstappen. I think that's just said. Everyone else is going to go again now, as you can see, and Michael Schumacher does actually set the fastest lap in Q2. Michael, the only other man on medium tyres, as well as the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. Lewis Hamilton down in P10. I don't know why Lewis is so stinky on this game, boys. Lewis is the GOAT in real life, you know what I mean? 7-time world champion, greatest driver of all time, arguably top 2, yeah, with Michael Schumacher, if you want to say that. But he's P10 in the qualifying session here. Valtteri's absolutely battered him since we started this career mode. Valtteri obviously won the drivers in season 1 of the career mode. But anyway, we're into Q3. Lando Norris on provisional pole with 3 minutes left in the session. We're currently sat in P2 at the end, or well, with 3 minutes left in the session. Obviously everyone coming out of the pits, as you can see on the map in the bottom left, everyone coming out of the pits to go again. We're on a push lap though, everyone else is on an out lap. So hopefully the Ferrari in front of us is not Carlos Sainz and he doesn't mess us up again. But you can see now flying through there, carrying a lot of speed, our Delta flies up to 1.2 tenths. Purple in sector 1 again. You know, I love the purple sectors around Russia, managing to keep within track limits there as well. I know we don't really focus on track limits, he says as he goes wide. But yeah, I was trying to keep it within track limit, trying to keep it neat and tidy. You know, I do like to look tidy when I'm racing. I don't like to look like a sloppy fool, he says as he goes across track limits yet again. I should just stop talking, to be honest. Somehow I've overtaken Lando Norris, and now we are on provisional pole. Lando must have got done for track limits, got a time deleted or something like that. Here is Carlos Sainz in the same place we almost went into the back of him yet again. Michael Schumacher currently provisional P4. We're on a provisional pole at the minute. I don't know how, don't know what happened to Lando and what happened to that lap that he set. But Carlos Sainz, can you please get out of the way, mate? We've got 2 corners left in this lap here, and it could be provisional pole if Carlos Sainz does not mess this up for us. Sainz, he's gonna get past. It's gonna be 3 tenths up, his fastest lap of the session so far. Provisional pole. Everyone has to go again. It's a 128.2 with a purple sector 1. It's a great lap from us. We're going to have a massive slipstream as well down into turn 2 if we're going to push again, but we don't manage to make it past Carlos Sainz. That's going to cost us the whole lap there, pretty much 3 tenths down. As you can see, 4 tenths down. I thought that could have been a sensational lap, but it was a sensational lap anyway, boys. We are on pole. It's not even provisional. We're on pole position in Russia. What a lap from us. Michael Schumacher, not the best Q3 session, but boys, we're on pole position in back-to-back races. The wheel and pedal work on wonders. Let's see if we can turn this into a win.
Here in southern Russia, a beautiful location besides the Black Sea, and a race that has historically been dominated by the Silver Arrows. Mercedes have won here 6 times since the first race in 2014. Can someone else muscle in on that record here today? Built on the shores of the Black Sea, the Sochi Autodrom is a 3.6-mile tour around some of the venues built for the 2014 Winter Olympic Games. Close barriers may make overtakes more challenging, but with 56% of the lap taken absolutely flat out, we certainly won't be wanting for pure speed. A fitting arena then to do battle at the pinnacle of motorsport. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here today, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
But from the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the run down into turn 1. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course, you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you, so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. It's the owner-driver in pole position then, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Norris, Michael Schumacher and Ricciardo, Hamilton, Bottas, Sainz and Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Mick Schumacher, Pierre Gasly and Russell, Vettel, Stroll, Nicholas Latifi and Charles Leclerc. They've taken a grid penalty. Giovinazzi, Tigtum, Tsunoda and Nikita Mazepin. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
We're getting to that stage of the season now, boys, where people are starting to take grid penalties. You can see Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari down in P18 after a grid penalty. We set the strategy there. We put the fuel to minus 2.5 laps under fuel in the car, as we always do at the start of these races. Lights out and away we go. We're on the slower medium tyres, but we get off to a good start compared to the cars behind us. Lando Norris, though, what a start from him, up from P3s into P2 now, battling with Max Verstappen as we head down the long straight into turn 2. Max Verstappen, he's going to go up the inside. Oh, there's a bit of contact with Lando Norris up the inside. What a chaotic start. I don't even know if that's a word. Chaotic, did I say that right? I don't even know. We fly around the very quick turn 4 now though, and we have to take evasive action there, boys. bouncing over the curbs. Hopefully we can get an onboard replay of that start. Max Verstappen still right behind us though. Verstappen had to take evasive action, bouncing over the curb. There was a bit of contact, I think, with Lando Norris at the start. Lando, I think he lost his front wing end plate, so hopefully we can get a replay of that start. I don't actually know if we will, but that was an absolutely crazy start. And as you can see, Lando was fell to 2 seconds behind Max Verstappen. Now definitely picked up some damage in that chaotic turn. I want to call it turn 1, bro, but you know it's turn 2 in the actual track layout. But it's really annoying to say. But Max Verstappen, the only car in sight here. We do have a replay of the start. Lando off to a great start, jumping Sergio Perez, almost jumping Max Verstappen. What a start from the young lad in the McLaren there. Obviously everyone on those faster soft tyres compared to us on the mediums, and as we head down into the braking point, you can see the massive bump that we got in the back there from Lando going straight into the back, and it actually pushed us off the track. We have to go through the little chicane, the little foam chicane. If you bounce over that orange curb, this is real life anyway, if you bounce over that big orange sausage curb, you have to go through the little foam chicane on the exit there. But we can see spectator Michael Schumacher, he's in P5. I think he started P5 on the grid, so he hasn't made up any places, but he's right behind Lando Norris, who is holding up a gap to, of course, the cars in front, like I did mention. Michael on the alternate strategy like we are on those medium tyres. Hopefully that's good. There goes Lando into the pits. He definitely did pick up front wing damage. That is unfortunate for Lando. Great performance in qualifying, and obviously a great start at the lights out, you know, but he's managed to fall by so many places. He's going to be dead last at the end of lap 1, but we're on to lap 4 now, and as you can see, Sergio Perez with the fastest lap of the race at the moment. He's chasing down Max Verstappen, who he is 2 seconds behind, and Verstappen chasing us down. Obviously with it being lap 4, DRS will be activated this lap, and Max will have DRS down the home straight, which we are, or the back straight I should say, which we are coming up to right now as we head into the braking point, which is also the DRS detection zone. And you can see now Max is going to have DRS. Can we do anything to defend? We have not applied overtake, which we probably should have, but now we have. Max overtakes us. We're going to go try up the inside, but Max squeezes that angle completely. We did well to avoid a collision there. You know, that was a very, very tight angle that we almost could put into, caught in the dirty air from Verstappen's car in front, and we go flying off the track. But yeah, very, very dangerous move there. We almost had massive contact with Verstappen. That would have took us both out the race surely. But can we try and keep up with Verstappen? We're going to have DRS ourselves down the main straight now. Obviously, I don't really care if he gets a bit too far ahead, because he is on that alternate strategy, like I say. So Verstappen will have to box earlier than us for different tyres, because those softs will fall off. The softs do go quite long here in Russia, to be fair. There is not much, you know, undulation in the track, not much elevation changes, so the tyre wear isn't that bad in Russia, but that is why I wanted to start on the medium tyres as well, so we can go for that long first stint and then switch to the softs later on. Purple sector one, as you can see, as we're chasing down Max Verstappen, and there goes Verstappen's engine. Verstappen's engine just blows up in our face. That's a face full of smoke for us. Max Verstappen is out of the race, boys, on lap 5 of 27. That is an absolutely huge retirement for the championship and for this race. Max Verstappen, the man we were chasing down, we did get DRS from him before he did blow up in our face. Pause. But yeah, we managed to get DRS as we go down that straight and pass Verstappen. But now Perez is caught up. So Sergio Perez, obviously last time out in Monza, I did mention he showed some great pace. There's just a confirmation that Max is out of the session, as if we needed any more confirmation than we already saw with our own eyes, with a face full of Honda particles, Honda shaped smoke particles in our face. But yeah, like I mentioned in Monza, Sergio Perez adds some great you know, pace towards the end of that race, but obviously we've just pulled a gap now to 1.5 seconds. The soft tyres seem to be falling off just a little bit. We're on lap 11 of 27, and you can see we've got gearbox wear, boys. I wonder what that engine notification was in the bottom right, the little orange flash. It was our gearbox, 64% wear on the gearbox. Hopefully we don't lose any gears in this race. That would be huge. Now Perez has pit. We're on lap 15, sorry. Schumacher was up to P3. He's still in a net P3 because he does have to box, but we were losing a lot of time on these tyres. I think we've boxed a lap earlier than we said we would in the strategy, but we're going to come into the pits now. As you can see, we were meant to box on lap 16, but I came in early. We were losing a lot of time to Perez, and I just thought if I go for one more lap, Perez will probably have the undercut on us, being on the other strategy. He had the undercut anyway, being on the soft tyres because he pit earlier. But let's see, has the overcut work? It's a slow pit stop from us. 3 seconds. Perez just sets a new fastest lap of the race as well. Not what we like to see. And we're going to come out of the pits, boys. Remember, before Perez pit, we were like 1.5 seconds ahead of him. We come out of the pits 4.1 seconds behind Sergio Perez. That is not what we like to see. Michael Schumacher 21.7 seconds ahead. He still has to pit. Maybe Perez might catch up to Schumacher. In fact, no, he's 21 seconds behind him. Ignore that. I was going to say maybe Perez could catch up to Michael, and Michael could hold him up while we go. But you can see there Schumacher into the pits now on lap 17. He's gone 2 laps longer than we did in the pits. But here goes Perez just crossing the line, new fastest lap, and we take that from him. We take the fastest lap from Perez by 9/10 that was.
Fuel, probably a lap or so short. We don't need to risk a DNF chasing records, so think about starting to conserve fuel, maybe lifting earlier into the corners.
Now there's Jeff on the radio, boys, telling us to lift and coast through the corners to save fuel. Obviously, we underfuel the car at the start of every race to save on weight, you know, and increase our pace in the race. But it's never been a problem for us in terms of like actually running out of fuel, because I do lift and coast through a lot of the races. But I did not hear that radio message, boys, and that is crucial. I did not hear the radio message from Jeff to say that we need to start to lift and coast, and obviously I'm pushing now to try and catch Sergio Perez. We're on the soft tyres, he's on the mediums. Theoretically he should be able to go longer into this race, and it could just be a win now for Perez. We've got the strategy wrong unless we can overtake him pretty soon. Now we are into DRS range and we go purple through sector 2 again. We do definitely have some pace here, but I did not hear the radio message from Jeff to say that we needed to save fuel. But boys, we've got DRS on Perez now. We're going to have a slipstream as well, but there's crucially a yellow flag, which means no overtaking. We could have took Perez down to turn 2 there, but it's going to be Nikita Mazepin in the Haas in front with engine failure. That's a Ferrari engine in the Haas letting us down, and we can't pass Perez into turn 2, which would have been absolutely crucial. And it's that little butterfly effect moment that could have cost us the race here, boys. That could have cost us. That's absolutely huge. I didn't actually notice that until I'm doing the edit now. But can we go up the inside of Perez there? No, he pushes us off the track. Obviously that's Perez's line. It was a very risky move from us, very ballsy to try and send it up the inside there. Didn't work out though, but we're stamping on the throttle to try and keep up with Perez here. We're pushing as hard as we can on these soft tyres, because I know I need to get past him before these soft tyres fall off, because he can go longer on the mediums. Now we have slipstream, DRS, ERS activated as well. Up the inside, he pushes us a little bit towards the wall. I thought he was going to push us into the wall there, but we pass Perez into the braking zone. Can we stay ahead? Yes, we can. Perez does not try and, or he's not able to try and send a move back. But yeah, boys, like I was saying, I was blasting music while I was doing this race, and I did not hear that radio message from Jeff earlier on telling us to lift and coast. And obviously I didn't think anything of it. You can see the engine or the petrol sign in the bottom, just next to where the telemetry is, which says that we are obviously under fueled. But it says that every race, because we do that on purpose every race. Coming through though, the straight now, we do pull out of DRS range to Perez. But on lap 23 he has got back within DRS range. Like I say, our soft tyres falling off, his mediums coming to life later on in the stint. Schumacher is 5.8 seconds behind in P3 still though, so it's a P3 for Schumacher, and there goes Sergio Perez up the inside. We give him space up the inside, unlike Max Verstappen did to us before, but he's not able to make the move there. On lap 23, good defensive driving from us. Now there's only 4 laps left in this race, boys. If we can just keep that up for another 4 laps, even though our tyres are falling off, it is quite difficult to defend in Russia, I'd say, because the straights with DRS are so big and so long. All they have to do is get DRS and slipstream, and it's a very difficult one to try and defend, you know. But hopefully we can do that for 4 more laps. Now we're approaching back markers here on lap 24 of 27, 3 laps left, and now this is crucial. The back markers could help us in this race here, boys. Obviously, depending on where we overtake them compared to where Sergio overtakes them. We do have Giovinazzi. You can see he pulls away to the side nicely, and we do manage to get past him before the braking zone. But Perez is going to have to stay behind Giovinazzi for that corner there, which is crucial. Now we're trying to pull the gap to above 1 second, because the DRS detection zone is coming up. Obviously, you need to be less than 1 second in the DRS detection zone to the car in front to get DRS, and we get through the DRS detection zone ahead of Perez by more than a second, so he doesn't get DRS. Crucial. Giovinazzi held him up there Thank you, Italian Jesus. Yeah, but can we stay ahead? 1.3 seconds now, boys. I can see my name in lights. I can see another hat-trick, pole position, fastest lap, win. Can we make it happen? You can see we're going red in all the sectors now. None of this purple stuff. Our tyres falling off completely, bouncing over the curb there. It's poor from me. Lance Stroll, the next man to get lapped here. He pulls away to the side nicely. I think he's going to stay there, and Perez comes through. You can see just how lively Perez is. The gap was 1.3, and now Perez is within 1/10 of us. He's right on our gearbox. You can see the proximity arrow flashing there. Lap 26 of the race, but boys, in the bottom, that fuel sign has turned from yellow to red. It's not good. Perez goes up the inside. We managed to defend through that corner there. Now we are getting towards another DRS point, which is going to be very, very hard to defend. But we have 100% battery. We can use battery down the whole straight. That's what I was saving it for, to try and defend against Checo. We've only got 2 laps left in the race, boys. All we need to do is defend for 2 laps. Can we do it? There's the DRS detection zone. He's going to have it down this straight. Battery all the way down. That's what we need. But Checo, he's going to have the slipstream as well. And he flies past us. And he flies past us. He flies into the distance. Look how fast that Red Bull is in the straight line. I don't know where that pace came from. Actually, I do. But we won't mention it yet. Perez absolutely flying ahead of us there. He didn't just get past us. He got past us by a significant amount. You can see he's 7/10 ahead at the end of the straight. I don't know how he's managed to pull that gap, boys. That was a crazy, crazy rocket from Sergio Perez. We've got 2 corners left until we get to our final lap. Michael Schumacher has now closed the gap to us, which was 5 seconds. It's now less than 1. I think Michael might have DRS down the main straight there. We get DRS on Perez somehow. I don't actually know how we managed to stay within DRS of Perez, but you can see Michael catching us. Boys, we have DRS on Perez, which means we was within 1 second. But now Perez has gained the gap to 1.4 seconds coming through the left-hander. Michael Schumacher is right on our gearbox as well. Perez 2.2 ahead. Perez absolutely flying ahead. Look in the bottom right, boys. Low fuel mode. We've gone into low fuel mode. We've ran out of fuel. Michael Schumacher flies past us. We've got no fuel left in the car, boys. It's the last lap of the race and we've got no fuel, and there's a track limit warning as well. There's a 3-second penalty for track limits. Now I knew we weren't going to catch Michael and we weren't going to catch Perez. 3-second penalty. Bottas is 4.7 seconds behind. Can we stay ahead by 3 seconds and get this podium in Russia, boys? It's a stinker from me on the fuel stuff, but all we need to do is get it across the line now. 3 seconds ahead of Bottas, and we have a podium still and fastest lap, so massive points for the team. That's all we need to do. Heading towards the end of the straight now. The gap to Bottas 4.2 seconds. We're definitely not going to catch Michael, and Perez is almost across the line to claim the win here, but we're going slow. Bottas is 4.1 seconds now. 3.9. We've got 7/10 left, 8/10, 2 corners left in the lap. Can we get across and finish ahead of Bottas by 3 seconds? There's only 2 corners left. Can we do it? 4 seconds the gap to Bottas. Easily done, boys. Across the line. We're going to be P3. It's going to be P3. Or is it? Or is it, boys? We've crossed the line in P3. Michael Schumacher and Sergio Perez, the only cars ahead of us. Driver of the day goes to Charles Leclerc. Like I mentioned, engine penalty for him. He started P18 on the grid. We'll see where he finishes. There goes Bottas flying past us now. Obviously Sergio Perez won the race, so there's Christian Horner celebrating that one there. Michael in P2, good job from Michael. You can see him there shaking hands with Sergio Perez, but if you look closely, boys, that's our car in the background, and Valtteri Bottas is in P3 as we pull into Park Fair, mate. Valtteri Bottas is in P3, boys. What, have I just seen that correctly? Is that a visual glitch? Let's find out. We go to the podium. Checo on the top step, and there's Valtteri on the 3rd step. Valtteri Bottas, the flying Finn, on the 3rd step. I skipped the podium celebrations because I was rattled, boys. I was rattled. Valtteri finishes P3 and we gained a 6-second penalty on the last lap of the race, boys. You saw us get the 3-second penalty when we were behind Michael, but we picked up a 6-second penalty. We picked up a second 3-second penalty on the very final corner, boys. The very final corner of the race. You can see there. Look at this, lap 27. They got a warning, 3-second penalty, 3 warnings and another 3-second penalty. The final corner of the race, and we picked up a 3-second penalty. 6 seconds on the last lap of the race. It's cost us a podium. It's cost us a race win. We were under fueled. We were on for a hat-trick, a back-to-back hat-trick, pole position, fastest lap and race win, and we absolutely bottled it. We've absolutely bottled it, boys. I cannot believe it. I hope we show a replay. I think we might, but we might not actually. But Michael now takes the lead in the driver's standings by 3 points. Crucial DNF there for Max Verstappen in that race, obviously for Michael to overtake him, but it was only by 3 points. Max is absolutely flying this season. We managed to gain a 14-point gap on Red Bull as well in the constructors. Here we can see the replay, boys. This is the final corner of the race, and we just go wide on the curb, and then that's what cost us the race. That cost us 3 seconds, that right there, what you've just seen. Cannot believe it. Absolutely wounded off that. Such a good race as well. We drove so well to get that pole position in qualifying. It was such a good race from us, apart from just losing out on the fuel. I think we probably would have defended against Perez as well if we did have the fuel, but you can see there we are just adapting those other parts that I mentioned before that we didn't have the points to do. Now we do have the points to do them, so our car is now completely adapted for next season, and we won't get hit with any sort of trouble, any sort of penalties, anything like that for the next season, which is what you love to see. But like I say, it will be interesting to see what the other teams are like. Valtteri Bottas is also retiring at the end of this season. If you missed that last time out in Monza, we did mention that Valtteri is going to retire, so it's going to be interesting to see who is going to be partnering Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes next year, who is going to be partnering us. I'm looking between Carlos Sainz and George Russell. They're the two guys I'm thinking about getting. And if we take Carlos Sainz from Ferrari, who goes to Ferrari in that second seat then? Imagine Sebastian Vettel going back to Ferrari. We'll have to wait and see in the next season. But there is still 4 races left in this season, boys. Next up is USA. Excited to drive this one on wheel and pedals. Make sure you stay tuned for that episode. It'll be coming out on Friday. Get this video to 10 likes. We haven't hit 10 likes on a video since 2021. But yeah, man, like, comment, share and subscribe. I'll catch us next time. Take it easy.